Now, Ryan has had a lot going on this week, but he's not the only one. There's been a lot of drivers doing some swapping in the garage area. We'll get to that later on in the show, but first let's talk about Ryan Newman. The announcement was made on Friday that he will be joining Tony Stewart as the second driver of Stewart Haas Racing. The 14 for Tony Stewart, the number 4 car for Ryan Newman, and Ryan did address on what the challenges can be on this new venture and how are they going to overcome some of those challenges.
I think and I feel that it can be successful. The level of success, I think, is dependent upon how much effort we put into it. And I know it's not going to be a perfect race every race. I know there's going to be times where we fail parts. There's going to be times where we make mistakes and have bad pit stops and things like that. But that's racing. That's part of it. I feel those things right now. I just and we all go through those things, whether you're Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, or Tony Stewart, or you know, myself. It's part of racing. So you know, it's going to be important that we have good reliability within the cars so that we can always move forward. If you're blowing an engine 20 laps into the race, you don't have an opportunity to analyze your pit crew or analyze your strategies and work as a team. So reliability is going to be super important, I feel, from a point standpoint as well as just a team building standpoint.
The fans are really looking forward to Tony Stewart and Ryan Newman teaming up. 2 Midwestern guys for a combination that's unheard of. Now, also, besides him being in the news, he had a busy week, but he was able to slip away for a few moments to a local youth camp where his wife Chrissy and the Ryan Newman Foundation have teamed up to revitalize this camp. We decided to head over to the camp and talk to Ryan about what he has in mind for making this camp and getting it back in action.
The Racing for Wildlife program is to create awareness through racing about preserving and conserving the outdoors so that we have beautiful places like this for generations to come. The world always seems to revolve around kids at some point, and this is another one of those times where we can talk about, you know, bringing the kids here because they have an impact on their families, their parents. You know, this place, I believe at one point had 16 cabins. Some of them are very dilapidated. It needs to be rebuilt. It is a historical site, so they reconstruct basically what was because of the historical significance of the camp. Overall, $1.5 million needs to be raised. Not all of that at once. It can go in phases. You know, there's 8 cabins on one side of the camp, and then there's 8 cabins on the other side. The one group of 8 are much more dilapidated because they're in the woods than the other 8. So there are 8 cabins that can become fully functional for a lot less money. But the overall main goal is $1.5 million. It's extremely important to give back, and it's extremely important to give back to the things that you like because you can be more emotionally, have a closer tie to it and care for it. And this is one thing that for me is I'm very sensitive about. Personally, I enjoy the outdoors, and this is a way of giving back.